Welcome everybody to this week's episode of Canadian Mortgage Hangout TV. I'm Gordon McCallum from First Foundation in Edmonton. We've got a very special guest today, our first female on the show. Nice to see Lisa Thériault joining us from Ottawa. Did I say that right, Lisa?
Yes, thank you very much.
Nice to have you join us. And as always, our other contributors, Jackson Middleton, who I'm going to compare right now and just see here what everybody thinks of Jackson. Like a celebrity, Jackson is our celebrity today. He looks just like CeeLo, but probably has more talent. So nice to see you, Jackson. And always good to have some representation from the motherland in Saskatchewan. Paulo.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Paulo is joining us from the back alley where he takes clients who don't pay, and doing his best to reinforce all the stereotypes about our industry. Way to go, Paulo.
Yeah, while I'm at it, I'm going to reinforce all the stereotypes about Italians too, so I got it all covered.
As long as you're doing it and I'm not, then I can't get in any trouble. Rob Campbell, ever vigilant, ever keeping his eyes and fingers on the pulse of our industry and making sure that nobody takes themselves too seriously. Good to see you from Guelph. Incidentally, Guelph seems to be the home of the world's nicest criminals. You probably read the article about the guy who robbed somebody, took a bunch of stuff, broke into their house, and then came back later, left it all on the front porch with an apology note. That was very nice of you, Rob.
Yeah. It turns out that is in fact true. False that it was me. If I were to rip somebody off, actually I would never rip anybody off. But nice try, Gord. It's great to be here, and hello, Lisa.
And as always, Scott Dawson joining us from Vancouver. Scott, how are things in Vancouver?
It's hot out here. 33 degrees last couple of days. It's been great.
Okay, nice. Well,
hi, guys. Morning.
Send some of it our way for the weekend. Guys and ladies, can I, if we have a lady in the group, can I actually say guys? Is that acceptable? It seems to. Okay. All right. Good. Well, guys, we've got to talk a little bit about technology in our industry, and I'm encouraged a little bit the way it's going these days. I think we're finally making some strides. Believe me, when you compare the mortgage industry to the insurance industry, it's like we're light years ahead. But tell me, I want to hear from you guys where you think technology in our industry is going, and what you'd like to see, and maybe you can share with us what your favorite piece of productivity enhancing technology is. And let's start from left to right. Jackson, why don't you tell us where you think we're going?
Wow, that's cool. I guess I look at technology as two parts. One part, the tools that we can use and just becoming better communicators with our clients. And obviously, social media plays a part of that. So you've got the tools like like this Google Hangout. A year ago, this didn't exist, where the six of us could come together, sit in a room, and talk about an industry that we love. So, if we can keep up on things, we can just be more effective communicators. And then the social aspect, the social media, just allows us to get out in front of people and communicate with people. I use pretty much, I'm on everything: Google+, Twitter, Facebook. I love my Instagram account. I got a Pinterest board with a collection of people in Keith's glasses. These are, in fact, Keith's glasses. And, we got over 230 pictures of people in Keith's glasses. What does that have to do with the mortgage industry? Nothing. But a lot of fun people have their pictures in the glasses. They get to know us, and if they like us, they do business with us. If they don't, find somebody else to do business with. So, I think technology is allowing us to communicate more effectively, and let's just use the tools we have.
Yeah. That's a really, I know you told me about this before. You're the first person I've ever met who's actually found a practical business use for Pinterest. But I think maybe we should do something similar and have a collection of photos of people in Paulo's pants.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be enough film in the world for that.
So you're using all the social media. You got all the tools. If if you could only pick one, Jackson, what would you stick with?
Twitter, no doubt. Twitter's the deal. I use my Twitter to not only consume information, but to share information. The idea that you have to put out in 140 characters everything that you want to say, well, no, you can just add a link to something and allow your viewers, the people you're corresponding with, to go to that link. So you can drive it to your blog. You can drive it to anything else. But no, I mean, Twitter saves me time because, I mean, rather than going to my individual media sites that I would go to, like the Leader Post to hear, mortgage broker news, if it comes to my Twitter feed, it just brings it all to me, and it saves me time. I click on the headlines that I want to read. Yeah. So Twitter by far.
Let me jump in a bit there, Jackson and everybody else. It's worth, I think, kind of noting that the 6 of us are on this Hangout because of Twitter.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So it's an amazing way in the industry. I use it obviously to network with other associates in the industry. Right? We're not just tweeting out mortgage rates. We're actually getting some business done, and I think we've built some good relationships.
Yeah, I would say it's probably been the biggest tool. And I was a skeptic at first, believe me. And I'm not normally a skeptic about some of this stuff, but I've been wrong on Twitter, and I think pleasantly surprised with how it's been both a good tool for me in terms of gathering and sharing information, but it's built some good relationships along the way. So you're right, good point, Scott. Lisa, you're one of the, actually you're somebody I think I met first on Twitter as well, probably.
Yeah.
And then we also several of us got to meet in person out in Toronto at the last CMP Mortgage Summit. What's your experience been with using technology in your business, and where do you think we're going with it?
Having been out of the loop for a little while because things weren't working properly, it's painful. Once you get used to it, I think everybody can attest to that. I got used to using it a lot, so I got used to being on Twitter and having my feed, and then when you suddenly don't have access to it as easily as you've been used to, it just completely throws you off. It throws you off your rails. So as far as, I absolutely love Twitter, but I haven't had easy access for a little while. Hopefully it's going to be back on track pretty soon.
Was there a withdrawal period for you when you and then was it finally acceptance? Because I know I've been on vacation and I actually stopped using anything for a little while. And it was a little bit refreshing. As much as I missed it initially, it was tough to jump right back in. But then as soon as I did, I was hooked again. So is it like coffee or cigarettes for you? What's the deal?
Yeah, I found it difficult. Again, it wasn't. It was almost, it was forced upon me because things just weren't working properly. I lost my BlackBerry. Don't even get me started on that. Didn't work, and then my computers weren't working properly, and my internet feed, and everything happened at once. So now getting back into it again, it's a bit of a learning curve. I feel like I'm starting all over again, but it's absolutely made a huge difference in my business. I've met a lot of people like you guys in the industry, and then clients as well, people that I haven't and wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet with or to speak with, people that I just happen to have a common interest, where Twitter comes in big time. And then I branched off a lot on Facebook because Twitter was working and everything was great. Wasn't a big fan of Facebook, but decided to give that a go more last year. And I've been having a lot of good impact and a lot of good feedback, and just pop on there and suddenly someone's saying, "Hey, I need to get a mortgage." It's the best.
Yeah, no, that's good. I actually think Google Plus will be interesting over the coming years. They're really they're going to make it for any of you guys that are interested in SEO work or whatever. Google Plus is really going to make itself mandatory if you want to play in the search engine space because it's just they're forcing you to use it. And the good news is it's a great platform. It's kind of combines a lot of the pluses of Twitter and Facebook. It's a nice hybrid. But getting to know how to use it and finding the time to spend on all of these different platforms can be challenging. Paula,
That's been for me, for sure.
Yeah. Because we all have businesses to run and families to spend time with and other interests as well. So it's almost a full-time job in its own right.
Yeah.
Paula, talk to me a little bit about where you think the future of technology specific to the mortgage industry. We've talked a little bit about social media in general, but anything specific to your mortgage operation that you use that you really like?
Well, something that I use that I really like is there's an app for the iPad and iPhone. It's called PDF Expert, and I use that for my applications and I have a little checklist that I and I provide all my clients with. So I'm able to actually go in there and modify it right on the iPad, email it straight out. So in terms of what I use, that's one thing that I think is really, really good. That being said, I think Biologics needs a lot of work. I'm sure all of you guys will agree. It's a little archaic. It looks like it was designed by a college student as like, you know, his midterm project or something. I think they really need to work on that if they really want to push our mortgage industry into the future, at least with technology.
Well, that's here's hoping, and user interface improvements would be welcome. I know it's hard for me to complain because when I started, we were using Mortgage Base, which was basically an access database, and had no connectivity at all, and uploaded everything through a VPN, and it was so we're light years ahead of that, but it's we still have a ways to go, I'm sure. Anybody here using anything that's kind of cutting edge on the side that like anybody here using electronic signatures in their practice?
Actually, just one thing before that, I just wanted to add something else I use, and I'm sure a lot of people know about it, is Hootsuite. It's really, really good for managing more than one social media account. You can do Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, anything. It's really good. It's a really good tool for that.
Paulo, do you have Google Plus access on your Hootsuite dashboard? Because I know that's a beta.
I do, but it's only for my page, not for my personal page, but for my Quality Path the Mortgage Agent page.
Oh, okay. Because I've asked for that capability, and it's in beta right now. So I think you have to be they have to allow you to have it. It's not on everybody's install. Rob Campbell, Mr. Video. Tell me how you're using video in your business, because that's an area where I'd like to get a little stronger. Actually,
well, I mean,
I'll let Scott jump in too here because he's really strong on the video side as well.
Yeah. How do I use video in my business? Really, I just push out messages when I think it's relevant. I think I'm a big fan of posting something when it kind of strikes you and it's relevant. I don't like calendar task, shoot a video today and push it out to your audience. Like, I just don't do that. I think it's more spontaneous with me. I can talk to a camera just like I can talk to somebody else face to face, and I've been told that my videos are kind of it gives people that sense that they're talking that I'm actually talking to them, as opposed to, you know, we've all been guilty of this, like mortgage rates this week have escalated. You know, like nobody wants to see that. You can see that anywhere. It's helped my business, I got to tell you. I mean, I'm not going to get too far into it because I'm going to spill the beans, but you know, getting random emails from people saying, "I saw your video. We're moving to your city. Could you help us out with some more information?" Absolutely. Does that happen? For sure it does. It doesn't happen overnight, and that's the big misconception, that by taking a magic pill, whether it's YouTube or Twitter or even a Facebook fan page, you know, it's not a magic pill that you're all of a sudden it's going to come to you. You got to work, just like anything. You got to work at it and be transparent and be genuine about what you're saying, and push interesting content. So yeah, and my number one platform I love is besides YouTube, my number one would be Twitter with Jackson. I wholeheartedly agree. Twitter, by all means. And I'm going to kick it over to Scotty Too Hottie right now. Go, Scott.
Other way, or your other way on my end. Yeah, I don't know if I can add anything almost that, like what everybody else has said. I mean, everybody knows I think I'm a big Twitter guy. I say that all the time. Yeah. 140 characters works for me, right? So it's quick, it's fast. You don't have to spend a ton of time, you know, getting on there. You can kind of, it's something you can check throughout the day, so it doesn't take a lot of your effort. Video, same way. Like I'm loving this technology. Big thing, obviously Google Hangouts, right? This is amazing stuff. And to be able to do something like this and have it on our website and be able to share this information with other brokers and clients and realtors, it's amazing. In terms of video, I mean, I do wish I did a bit more video myself. Again, it comes, I guess, from having you know, just being, I'm comfortable doing it, but sometimes it just doesn't strike you right. So you just don't do it. Don't force. I guess the big thing is don't force yourself to do something you're not into at the time.
That's a great point, and there are plenty of good brokers out there who don't use any of this stuff, and they do all kinds of volume and have a great loyal following. So you have to know your audience and build a niche for yourself. Jackson, what do you want to say?
Well, I got a question, because I'm curious here. Does anybody use Skype or any type of platform like that to meet with clients? I haven't.
I have. A lot of my business I do in sort of Western and Southwestern Ontario, so I do meet my clients face to face, but sometimes I need to use Skype because I'm just not in their area at the time. So I have used it before for sure, absolutely.
I haven't, Jackson, but I know that's something that we're looking at for our new website is making sure that each of our associates has the ability to go face to face with the client if the client wants that, and because our website generates the majority of our leads, and a lot of people are not in our immediate area, that we think that's got lots of potential. I might do it through Google. We might push it through Google Plus as opposed to Skype, but just to have one platform we're consistent with. But
that's one thing I noticed. Like lately now, they've added the Hangout ability right into Gmail. So with Gmail, you can now you can hang out with people that you're connected with that way. One-on-one. You don't have to post it obviously online like we're doing here. I've used Skype before with clients as well. Clients and also other mortgage brokers in my office if they're on holidays or something like that. It's a good way to stay in touch. But the quality, I think the quality of these Google Hangouts is far better.
It'll be interesting to see. I guess you do have to maybe have both available because some people will be familiar with Skype and not everybody has a Google account. So that's one other possibility. Yeah, Lisa?
I just wanted to go back to the talking on the videos because I had done a few of them, and as I said, technology kicked in. I changed offices and moved, but they still have longevity, and I think that's the most important thing to remember when you're doing videos is that if they have relevance, they're going to continue to stick around. Because videos that I did 12 months ago, people are still saying, oh, I just saw your video and I want to refinance, or I'm looking at, making some changes, can you help me, that kind of thing. So, and they just keeps coming back that way.
Rob, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, to add to Lisa, she basically hit it right on the head of the nail. I shot a video last year, I believe it was in May. It was the first video I ever did. I'm like, my body's frozen. It's so unnatural because I was nervous as hell. I've almost acquired over 600 views on that video, and I've never pushed it out before. I've never pushed that video after the fact. I attached it to a blog post, and there's some other creative SEO stuff I did there with the title and all that, but I've never pushed it out again. I still get views every week off of it, and to add to Lisa, it's right. It's there in perpetuity. It will never go away unless you go in and delete it. That can't hurt you. Like a tweet will, or a Facebook post. It's like it's a machine. It just keeps chugging away and it keeps disappearing, and you got to keep working at it. A video that's well done, genuine, and shareable with great content will never go away, and that's something we all have to remember.
So it's worth noting, with the videos too. I mean, I use my iPhone to film my video. I think Rob, you probably do as well, right? I mean, it's not hard to do. You just need somewhere with a good good light. It works better when it's kind of impromptu and not scripted. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I think that gets people wanting to work with you because they can see your actual personality, right? You're not forcing something on them that's not kind of authentic.
I haven't done as much as you guys, but I know I've tried stuff, including in front of a little green screen, and hacked away with that, and other sort of impromptu or sitting in front of the computer. And my favorite one that I ever did was in the car, and I set up my phone in my cell phone holder, and I just turned it loose, and all you see is me shoulder checking for about 5 minutes. But it was definitely the most natural one. It was kind of Rob Campbell-esque. I got to be myself. I'm hesitant to do some of that because I know the distracted driving laws in Alberta are fairly stiff, and even though I wasn't really operating the camera, I wouldn't want to have to defend myself in court for that. So lesson to anybody watching here: use video safely. It's important to be safe. Don't do it in your car. Ski hill's fine, but that's up to you. So we know sort of where we're at in the industry. Is there anything that really drives, besides expert? Let's not pick on them too much. Is there anything else in our industry that do any of you have any lenders that require you to fax documents in still? Wow.
I got one for you there.
Actually, I got a quick thing for everyone as well. I have to use a service called Ring Central. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but they give you a phone number that you can use to forward to a cell phone or a regular number, but it also accepts faxes. So the way I've been sort of eliminating faxes in my office is just having everybody fax everything they need to there, and it just emails me a PDF. I find that works really well. I'm not sure if you guys used it or are looking into it at all.
Yeah, there are a few. I know TELUS has one similar to that, and I think that's, if you're not doing that in this industry right now, you need to give your head a shake in terms of incoming faxes. But talk to me about outgoing faxes, Scott. You mentioned you had a
Outgoing,
letter.
yeah. Well, we had this conversation a couple days ago on Twitter with because ING Direct still requires you to fax in documents. Now it's all great. We have e-faxes, right? Like that's perfect. If you're set up with Filogic's Exchange, you can fax from there as well, right? If you upload your documents. The downside is ING Direct's fax, the way they have their fax system set up, they won't accept a fax coming from a line outside of Canada. So if your e-fax service redirects like from another country, you know, sometimes it'll go through the States, or how, I don't even know how these things work, right? Like it'll get routed through another city in the States. ING won't accept that fax. It's got to come from Canada. So they have a local Toronto 416 number, but some fax packages, obviously, like from Filogic's Expert, you can't fax to you got to fax to a 1-800 number. There's a workaround, but it's a pain.
There's juicy irony in knowing that the online bank won't accept online submissions of documentation. I mean,
I know, it's funny.
You can do their entire online application process, I think, with them, including, I think the client can submit documents through their web portal if they're going direct. But if you're going through the broker channel, you got to fax docs. That's crazy. Rob, what's up?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna add to Scott. So what happens there is because the fax line online is voice over internet protocol, even though it's not a phone, like a actual voice. Basically, what Scott's saying, to kind of clarify, is it could hit routers all across the world. Like it could ping off of LA, then go to Singapore, then go to Australia, and then come back to Toronto or Vancouver or wherever. So that's what Scott's basically talking at right there, which does make sense, right? If it's coming, but the irony, like Gord said, like free online hassle, no problem. Well, maybe it is a problem.
Yeah. Okay. So, Scott, you were going to add something to that last point?
No, it's covered. I mean, the workaround is having to use a different program. I have a program, actually. It's a Google Chrome app called MyFax, and it's a program where you can upload the documents, and it does go through online, but it lets you use the phone number that's a local 416 number long distance. So
okay,
it's a workaround, but it works.
Yeah. CRM systems. Are you guys using anything? Are you using industry sort of related CRM systems? Put up your hand if you've got one. Period. And for those of you who do have a CRM system, are you using something that's specific to our industry, or did you go outside the industry? Jackson, what are you using?
I use the Axiom system. I'm with the Axiom Mortgage Partners Network, and it's solid. I mean, it's designed by the guys who, they know our industry. They know what works. They got full-time guys working on it. Yeah, it's fantastic. It keeps everything. CRM it's sweet.
Lisa, what do you guys use in Ottawa there?
We have our own, actually. We designed ours right from the bottom up. It's been a work in progress for several years, and it's been putting sort of the best of all the different programs that we've used and developed and had experience with. So it's growing, which is nice. We've got a full-time IT person on now that works on it.
Was that developed from scratch, or was it a customized version of something off the shelf?
No, it was completely from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paulo, you're using something as well there?
No, just basically I'm using the Google Suite, so I'm using the calendar and my address book and stuff like that, and I really stay on top of things manually. I guess I'm a little old school in that way. I don't think a CRM system is really what I need right now. I'm very close with a lot of my customers, so I'm just able to manage it all that way.
Okay. And Scott, what are you using in? I guess Verico's got their own.
Yeah, Verico's got their own. I'm using an older version. It's like an Outlook. It's like an Outlook plugin currently. They're launching. Hopefully they're listening and they can get this thing launched a bit better. It's kind of at select brokerages right now, still testing, but they've got a new kind of system coming out called Verico Dynamics. So it's basically built from the ground up for mortgage originations. Rob's a Verico guy as well, so he can probably touch base too on it.
Okay. Do you guys with the V? Do you end up like if we cut you, would we see lizard skin underneath, or is that a different kind of a V thing?
It's
No.
blue.
No, nobody watched that show. That's why they canceled it, I guess. Sorry.
You know, to add to that, you know, like Scott mentioned, Scott and I are both Verico guys, and I love Verico. One, you know, I haven't really taken a good hard look at Verico Dynamics. I don't know, because I'm such a I like third-party stuff, to be quite honest. I like third-party applications. I like third-party kind of out-of-the-mix stuff. It would have been nice to see something that wasn't maybe so biased towards a Windows platform, because they're using a dynamic CRM. I believe, Scott can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's in conjunction with Microsoft.
That's right.
I would like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm not poo-pooing Verico by any means, because like I said, I love them, but I would like to see something third-party maybe, like, you know, like I don't know. There are so many options out there, but I currently don't use a CRM. I tried to upload the old one. It didn't really work for me. There was some stuff there, so I've got a CRM that I'm looking at to do on my own kind of third party.
Okay. Paulo, what look at?
I just wanted to ask the guys that do use the CRM systems, how is it for mobile? Like, do you guys have apps for your phones or tablets and stuff like that? How does it all work for you guys?
I'll touch on that just briefly. We're using we use a heavily customized version of Zoho CRM, which is originally, I think, basically a rip-off of Salesforce, but it's evolved over time to be quite an effective tool and very good system for us. Salesforce is also one of the dominant CRM players. Very expensive though once you get into all the bells and whistles. So that's why we chose the one we went with, and we've had experience with Sugar CRM too. And all of them have their strengths. Some of them are better at mobile. Some of them are better at integrating with other third-party apps. And I find the integration with third-party apps is something that's really nice that you can get with a third-party CRM system that you may not get with something custom built. That's probably one of the things that Rob likes about them too. If you've got a platform with a really strong user base, they may have integrations with iOS stuff and Android stuff and third-party mailing systems for doing emails and other kinds of integrations that can really make your business run smoothly. But there's pros and cons. Obviously, they're not geared specifically to the mortgage industry, so it means more time spent customizing them when you can deal with Axiom or Verico or somebody else and get something that works out of the box. Go ahead, Lisa.
That's part of the reason that we actually ended up building our own. We started off with something that was, years ago, I wouldn't use it myself. I had one that worked really well for me in my previous life as a road rep at a bank, and it worked really well, and I wasn't going to change to anything else until I knew that it was going to work just as well. So it took a few years to get there, but being able to put in all the things that we know work effectively has really made a big difference for us. We just launched a BlackBerry app. The iPhone app, I think, is coming next week. And it's all integrated, so everybody can get access directly. Everything we do is web-based, so it's nice because you can just do everything right from the road. And it's all right there for our agents to use. And clients apply right online. It gets right to it works in a very solid flow fashion.
Seamless, kind of. Scott, you wanted to add something?
Well, I was just going to kind of go a bit more on what Rob's points on third-party apps. I mean, there's downsides obviously to using Verico's great. Yeah, they offer these great tools. But there's downsides to using that technology that's tied to the brokerage. And I'm a big believer of creating your own kind of content in some respects. Like, so if we're talking, like, they provide these tools like free websites, mobile websites for you as well. But my big concern is obviously, number one, they look like everybody else's in the network, which is a big one. And I think everybody here has kind of built and done their own kind of web presence, which is great. And I'm a big believer in that, right? Spending the time creating your own videos, creating your own content, using the technology available, but making it your own, right? So whether I'm working with Verico for the rest of my career, I'd like to think I am, but just in case I'm not, I'm not putting all my eggs in that one basket of there.
That's a great point, and I think that's something that you point out. There are going to be those brokers, like probably most of us here on the Hangout today, who who are interested in this kind of thing and want to do it themselves and take the level of customization and personalization a step further. But I suspect that the brokerages themselves have to do this just in order. They have to be able to provide a base level of support in that way, whether it's CRM system or whether
it's a good start, right? And don't get me wrong. I mean, not everybody's as technology advanced as as somebody and able to do their own blog or something like that themselves, but it's definitely I think for agents worth putting the effort in to making to branding yourself and getting your own base built for sure.
Yeah, Paulo, what would you like to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that I guess it really depends on the person. I mean, different people have different needs. I'm always on the road a lot, so that's the thing I was looking for, and I really couldn't find it anywhere. My brokerage, small brokerage, it's just me and another guy. So we don't really have a CRM solution because we don't have enough people to really warrant getting one. And I've just always been used to doing it alone. But part of the reason why I use Google for maintaining all my client information and stuff like that is because I can literally drop a device, pick up another one, and then have everything resynced and have it all available to me at any time.
Yeah. We're big fans of the Google environment too. We run everything on that with the exception of our CRM, but it integrates with it as well. So I think that's a good point. I don't know if there's anything else anybody would like to add, but really good discussion today. I think it's worthwhile that we keep this going because our industry does ultimately benefit when we pursue better technology and better integration. At the end of the day, it's got to serve the client as opposed to just being shiny bells and whistles. But if it can help us run our businesses smoother or help serve the client better, and even create efficiencies for our lending partners and help them save time and money, those are things well worth pursuing. So any last thoughts before we go? Great, Lisa, very happy to have you on this week, Lisa. Nice to see you again, and appreciate you joining us. Hope to have you on next time as well. And good to see everybody else, and we'll stay in touch this next week, and look forward to chatting again next week.
Thanks.
Take care.
Yes, thanks. Have a good rest of the week.
See you guys. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Have a good one.